Oh, hey guys, what's good? I want to talk about how do you know when a subliminal that you want to pick is actually going to work for you, and if it's a waste of time and it's not going to work at all, and how do you know what sub maker to pick work. So I'm going to give you some tips and advice in this video that helps you better navigate. It's by the collective unconscious, but they're still different in different aspects, and we still respond to different things differently. So I thought this would be a really helpful video to do. This is my advice because I've been using subs for a long time. I've been getting amazing results. I've seen it work. I've seen it happen. Subliminals work. There's no debate on this. You can find millions of sub results on my channel or even Amino and different places. So there's no debate on that. It's all about the vibe and the intuition that you get from a sub maker. And that's the first and biggest thing that's gonna pop out at you as soon as you find the subliminal, or as soon as you think that you're gonna use a certain method. Whatever intuition, whatever feels right to you, whatever feels like that makes sense and I feel good about that, that is the one that you should be using. If people's gut feelings were not ignored, they would understand how to read people's body language, energy. They could see if people were lying. They could see if people were, had bad intentions for them, and their consciousness would raise up if they were able to, tap into that intuition and gut feeling, because your gut is your second brain. But a lot of the time with people in life, you kind of learn to bypass your intuition, because maybe you're in a situation that does make you uncomfortable, but you're like, oh no, I still have to do this. That's all that bypassing of your temporal intuition. That's gonna weaken it over time, because you want to fine tune what you're using, whatever law of attraction method it be. You want to fine tune it to you, and whatever works best for you is gonna give you the best results. The next point on this that I just want to say is, if you feel nothing, or you just feel totally blah to it, and you've given it at least 10 or 30 seconds, most likely it's not really going to do a lot for you. Even if other people have gotten results, if you're not feeling that intuitive vibe and you're not feeling that it's a good feeling for you, then it might not work. You don't have to feel tingles or sensations when you're using subliminals. That is a huge myth, that you have to feel them to work. But you should feel some type of emotion, because emotions are what puts this energy in motion a little bit. You should at least just not feel like you hate it. You shouldn't feel like this is terrible, this isn't gonna work, I'm getting the worst vibe. You can feel neutral and have it still work, but I think it's always gonna work better if you have some type of a positive reaction to that subliminal, if you have some type of excitement that you feel, even if it's just from the idea of using it. All of that is going to push you to getting faster, quicker results. And no one even wants to listen to something they don't want to listen to. So all of that is just going to block things, because it's negative energy. It's not going to, progress you in what you're trying to do. Again, another point on that kind of rolls right into that is, if people are putting their affirmations in their description, then those are the sub makers that you want to listen to. You don't want to listen to subs that have no affirmations in the description. That's just sketchy. That's like going to in an Uber and not knowing where you're going. People need to be transparent. So a good detailed description is key. I never trust a sub maker that's I'm not going to put my affirmations in my video, because that's just not cool, and you shouldn't be doing that. There should be a transparency that you're saying every affirmation. Make sure the sub doesn't clash with something else that you're manifesting. For example, if you're trying to manifest to look like Sahara Luna, and you're also using a sub that's trying to manifest to look like Ivanka Trump or something, obviously those are two different people, and that's not going to jive. You're not going to get any type of result, because that's called a clash, and you don't want to have clashing affirmations or anything like that. Contrary to popular belief, you cannot say no to an affirmation in a sub if you don't want it. So you can't block out a sub affirmation and be like, actually, I changed my mind, I don't want this, so I'm just gonna listen to this sub anyway, but I'm gonna tell my subconscious that I don't want that affirmation and I'm not gonna get it. That's not possible, okay? You can't block out that affirmation once it's there and once it's seeping into your subconscious, because your subconscious doesn't know how to say yes or no. Your subconscious doesn't know how to be like, okay, like that's true or that's false. It just accepts everything as true, and that's why subliminals work so well, because it accepts everything. So you can't do that. So don't pick a subliminal that has some things you like and some things you don't, because you're not going to be able to block those things you don't like out, and you're going to wind up with maybe some stuff that you don't want. Next is voice. The vocals that are used in the subliminal, computer or non, I tend to like just regular voices that say subliminal affirmations over computer generated. I feel those work best for me. I always also tell people that their own voice can work really, really well. So make your own subliminals and do that to help yourself. Another thing is the gender of the voice. So some subliminals use both male and female voices, which can work really, really well if you're someone who needs like that type of like intensity, because it just feels like more powerful when you're doing it like that. But typically what I find is like if you're a man, then listening to a man's voice that sounds closer to your voice or closer to someone you really respect, that is gonna be the best voice that's gonna help you get in tune and like accept all those affirmations that it's gonna tell you very quickly. So figure out what type of vocals that subliminal's using. If they're not telling you, then they should be telling you. Again, always find a submaker who's transparent, who is not going to like not disclose this information, because it is important that these things happen, because we're dealing with the subconscious mind and we're dealing with a lot here that can really change someone's life and personality and attitude and everything like that. Another point here is if the affirmations are audible to the mind and it's not meant to do that, it's a subliminal, so it's supposed to be subconscious. You don't want to listen to a subliminal that has affirmations that you can hear or feel, because that's not going to bring you results or get you anywhere, because you're gonna block it. Like our minds are kind of just like, well, I only see and feel what I think is happening, and they don't really suspend the disbelief or go into like the possibility of fantasy that often. So you don't want to be able to hear what's going on in that subliminal if you're trying to do that. Another thing is if you have any like anxiety or negativity when you start listening to subliminal, it's not necessarily because it's a bad subliminal. You could just have negative thoughts and anxiety over what that subliminal is trying to do for you. So for example, if it's something where you're trying to manifest a Porsche and you're really scared about getting that Porsche, like you're afraid of maybe what your friends will think, maybe you're afraid you won't have enough money to pay for it's the gas or anything like that. If you have all those fears around that subject, then that could be coming up when you're using the subliminal, and that stuff can give you a headache or make you feel just like really bad after listening to subliminal. But that does not mean that it's a bad subliminal, so don't blame the sub maker. Don't just go around saying it's a bad sub. Things like that, just not true. I'm trying to think of anything else here. If I left out anything else, I'm trying to really dig into this one might kind of be a little bit left field, but I'm just going to put it out there because I do believe that this affects the quality of the subliminal. If the sub maker is like depressed or really going through like in a very bad place in their life, and they're using their voice or they're really connecting their own energy to the sub, that can influence you, and that can kind of hurt you a little bit, because you are in a way connecting to that sub maker when they're making the subliminal. Okay, and that's not all cases, so I don't want to like say that's really super true, but it's really more true if they're speaking from the heart and they're not just saying like get it taller and everything like that. But if it's a sub that's like really speaking from the heart, then there can be a little bit of an energetic exchange there when you're getting it from the sub maker, and that's just my 2 cents and anything like that. And obviously you can't really know if that was going on, so you can't really know, and of course people go through things, so I'm not saying it like that, but it's like if there is like maybe just you might pick that up, like you're gonna pick up that vibe, like you're gonna just maybe they're making subs that even manifest like depression and things like that. Obviously I'm against those types of subs, or they're making subs that are like become more violent. You can pick up the energy, so do your research, okay? And just you know, take your intuition. And, you know, a lot of that, again, with like, and I've never really commented on the situation because the whole Rose Subliminals things, I just want to comment on it really quick. With Rose Subliminals, she completely like took a lot of people by surprise because her stuff seemed very high vibrational, but looking back, a lot of her affirmations were just so crazy, weird, and out there that I think we all could have understood that it was possible that she was putting in weird things in the subs, because she had some crazy, like, super metaphorical affirmations that made no sense, like, and a lot of times her music was very, like, weird, like, a lot of times her music was very, like, hardcore or a little bit, like, violent, you know, just, like, rap that was kind of violent, hardcore. So, again, I'm not judging anyone, but, like, if you kind of pick that up, even in the slightest, then it's possible that that's not a good sub maker, and that's just what I'm saying, okay? And don't get mad at me for saying that. But yeah, so those are my tips and tricks on how to get a good sub maker. If you have any more questions, you can leave a comment down below, or you can DM me in my inbox. I will hit you up. And yeah. All right, I love you guys so much, and please have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Treat yourselves and manifest the reality that you desire and that you deserve, okay? I love you, babies.